welcome to Geeks and Drinks. I'm Jason.
Jordan.
It's been a while since we've had an episode, but the holidays and things happen. But that's fine. We're back
Family
at it.
and responsibilities.
That's true. I mean, you started a new job, so that's always good times. I went on vacation. Everybody had their holidays. But there's just a lot of geeky news that's going on over the past few weeks that was like,
Kind of exploded, yeah.
Yeah, kind of get back on the horse and just enjoy that because we talk about it all the time.
Well, the worst part is we were gone. We haven't done one of these in a while, so it kind of turned into, it's like, how far do we want to go back? Fuck it, there's been a lot over the past 2 weeks. We can just do that and be fine.
Just do that because I'm not going to try to go back and talk about everything that happened during Halloween and Christmas. And, you guys already experienced all that. We've already heard everybody talk about that under the sun. We just want to give our takes on just the latest latest news. A lot of Spider-Man stuff to talk about this week. So before we get into it, as always, we have a drink. And you recently created this, maybe just a few weeks ago?
Yeah, about that.
I mean, we both enjoy old fashions, but what's this take on it?
Basically, I enjoy old fashions, but I always feel bad having to waste the bits of fruit and simple syrup and everything that goes with it.
Sure.
And I started watching the how to drink videos on YouTube.
The guy's really
Greg.
good. I enjoy his videos.
So, I mean, I got introduced to new booze type things and started mixing shit.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of like the actual orange and having to deal with any of that,
Right.
I just used the dry curacao.
Mm-hmm.
This thing.
Yep, which is pretty much gone. But
For
that's
good
fine.
reason.
Yeah.
And then the Luxardo maraschino.
Mhm.
So balance not needing cherry. And then because they're both,
Mm-hmm.
liqueurs, they're sweet enough where I don't need simple syrup.
But that's what I was going to bring up is that this is fairly sweet, sweeter than I was expecting when you first created it.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that it's all booze,
Yeah.
there's nothing left behind in this.
That's why you don't need simple syrup. You get enough sweetness and sugar from everything else.
I can't imagine trying to add simple syrup to this. That's
Like I said, I enjoy it because, again, I don't have to worry about wasting fruit. I don't really have to mix anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally just
Yeah.
two parts bourbon, 1 part of the dry curacao,
Mm-hmm.
and like maybe half an ounce of the maraschino and the bitters.
But this is not stuff that you have to specially order online. You can go to any of your local
Well, Total Wine,
Yeah,
your,
Total
your
Wine.
booze store.
Bevmo, which one was around there.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's tasty, it's delicious, it's an old fashioned. I mean, what's not to love about
I mean,
it?
it's a weird half-ass version that I came up with while drunk, like you do.
Yeah.
But it oddly enough turned out to be better than some old fashions I've had before,
Mm-hmm.
like at bars.
That is true. There's many a time that we've gone out, even us, or I've gone out with Jess, and like get a drink. Let's get an old fashioned. Usually request with Jameson. More often than not, I sit there and I'm like, this is fairly weak. I think there was one
You're
time.
like, this is lackluster. Because I've seen...
Well, there was one time I got one because normally you get an orange and a cherry. I got one with a lemon in it.
Well, Jess had me go to her old bar in L.A., The Well,
Mhm.
when I was there this past weekend for a concert.
Right.
They did the whole, they added, the seltzer on top, and I'm like, the fuck are you doing?
Why did you put?
Some people, they fuck with a good thing and just make it worse. I just came up with something half-assed, and it's basically idiot-proofish.
It's better than half the shit we've had out there.
Exactly. And again, I'm not even a professional bartender.
Most of the greats aren't at that point. You just come up with some of those random stuff. Things you come up with the Darth Rebens. These.
The closest thing I had is just I like booze, and I go to a lot of bars, and at best, I technically was a bartender for 2 weeks. Remember?
At a Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was at a Buffalo Wild Wings.
I mean, what
so it
were
wasn't
you
even anything legitimate.
pouring, PBR?
You saw my last day.
Yes, that was
That
great.
was fun.
Drank all the things, and it spent maybe $20.
I just liked the end of the shift when the guy tried to relieve me. He was just kind of like, "Oh, Jordan, before you go, don't forget to restock all this shit, dude. It's my last day.
You really
Tell you
think?
what, I'll close everybody else out and take care of everything, get you cleaned up. You can go restock. I ain't doing shit."
Oh, that was good times. But anyways, we have a ton of geek stuff to talk about. Let's just get into the surprise thing that actually dropped last night was by Weezer. They dropped a new album on everything. But usually it's like, okay, why are we talking about music? Because it's nothing but an 80s cover album.
Well, covers in general, I wouldn't say 80s, because you do have no scrubs.
The majority of them are from the 80s. And I have to say, Scrubs is probably one of my least favorite songs out of the entire album. That being said, I mean, there's 10, 12.
It's actually one of my favorites.
Really? You enjoy the Scrubs one? Okay.
Well, then I'm also that weird guy that enjoys like Ben's folds and
What's wrong with Ben Folds?
like when they do like slower covers of things.
And
That's what No Scrubs is to me.
okay, I don't know. Compared to the other ones, it just didn't have the same type of energy that I was looking for.
That's fair.
But again, this is a brand new album, and um,
But I mean, I get the
majority of
80s
it I
vibe.
really
Like,
enjoy.
if you look at the album art, most of them are dressed like fucking Miami Vice. So,
Yeah. So it's out there
Good to know.
online. You guys get to
Good to-
listen to.
good to know that Don Johnson
Just
look is
know
making
that
a
there's
comeback.
not a single original on there. So if you're like, who's this Weezer band and why do they sound so? Yeah,
Just don't be an ass.
you just listen to their stuff from the early '90s. It was good. Uh, let's talk about some
What's
movie
difference
stuff.
come out with music, dude? Mark Hoppus is starting his own band again
Is he now?
with the dude from All Time Low. They released a new song today
Really?
called Drugs.
All about the drugs?
It's different than something else, but like their new band called Simple Creatures, which is weird because immediately when I saw it's like Blink-182 splitting off doing this, I'm like, God damn it, the hell's Tom doing now? That sack of shit. And it's like, oh, it's Mark this time. I'm cool with that. He was the one that I actually liked.
Didn't he do like the Angels for Airways or something like that?
Tom.
Yeah, that was Tom. Okay. When he pulled off and went that, I listened to a track and went, "What the
Yeah.
is this?"
I mean, technically, Mark has done it a couple times. He did it with Boxcar Racer, I think was him,
Mm-hmm.
and then Plus 44,
Mm-hmm.
and now this. Which it wouldn't surprise me if it was Travis was the drummer for it.
No, that wouldn't surprise me in the least. I mean, what else have they been
Because
doing?
it's like, I want to do something, but, I don't want to deal with Tom.
Yeah, but anyways, let's get on to some movie news. Shazam comes out in a few months, and a lot of people have been speculating over the suit that's been the Shazam suit that was used in all the trailers itself, because a lot of people thought, one, there's no way he's that ripped.
Well, because it looks padded. Don't be wrong. I've seen the photos
Yeah.
of Zachary Levi, like it got buffed
Yeah.
out.
No, and there was a lengthy interview that actually came out about a week ago. It was actually a very good read. You can read over on Screen Rant, and it's talking with the costume designer for this upcoming film. And one, yes, it's padded, but one of the reasons for that is because no one outside of Dwayne Johnson is going to have that physique that you're probably trying to look for. And two, when he's going to be standing eventually with the rest of the Justice League, he was a
Caricature.
yes, exactly. You didn't want to have someone have a more ultra realistic style. He has to stand out.
No, I get that. But when they're like, dude, it looks super fake. It's not fake. It's my muscles. Fuck off. It's like, Zachary Levi, we're not saying you didn't get jacked. I'm just saying, we know that's
He's
not
just
all
happy
you.
that he wants the respect for getting jacked, and by all means, you have the props for that.
And it's his way of getting revenge because, they killed Heimdall.
That's true in the most bitch way, but But with this new suit, there's a ton of extra details that have been put in there. A lot of people were rumored online to think that it was be $1 million a suit. That's not the case. They have to go through, with any other outfit, superhero movie or not, they have to go through several iterations of it to try to get the right different style and the design and whatnot. They were putting a bunch of extra features and like minute designs and everything from the gauntlets to the
Yeah, but at least it makes sense. It wasn't like when Bryan Singer did Man of Steel and did Superman Returns. And it was like, but if you look at the suit, there's tiny little Superman symbols embroidered all over all of it. No one's gonna be
that
paying
part
much
doesn't
attention.
make any sense. You don't need
Why?
that at that point.
Fuck
Yeah.
yourself.
I mean, there are other things on here, like all the
That's
gauntlets.
what the kids
and
call extra.
extra.
Yes.
I did youth. Anyways, the gauntlets and the lightning bolt on his chest are actually lit within the suit itself, to the point that they got a little too bright. They started blinding some people here and
Good.
there. But yeah, they spent a ton of time on the suit, and honestly, I think it just looks pretty good. The amount of detail they put the little small hoodie on part of it. That was actually a throwback to the new 52 version. The overall design of the buttons, which actually screw in to actually keep the hood in place and whatnot, have the logo of, am I forgetting the name of the tiger or the lion from the series?
But it was actually Shazam.
No. It's actually another character from the series. I'm diving in too deep on there. But overall, the majority of it, yes, it is Zachary Levi. But yes, it is padded, but it looks awesome. We're pretty much seeing the full version of this suit. The only thing that really changed since the the first set of productions shots was the boots. They were trying to initially try to go for a sandals style, which was more part and partial what they had with the new 52 version.
They're trying to make that like Greekish look.
Right,
probably.
but then they had too many problems, so they decided to make it just boots. But that's fine. It works out well. I'm looking forward to yes, I know boots and cats.
You literally talked about
I dived
cats
right
and then
into
boots.
it. I know.
How did you not make that connection?
I know.
You stuck in my head now.
There you go.
It's like
And it's just the start of the show.
Never
So-
mind, it's gone.
Okay. We don't have to wait too long to see this. Shazam is slated for release February 7th. So, in what? 2 weeks? 3 weeks? If that? Come up real soon. Next up, this came out of left field. It was initially rumored on Entertainment Weekly, and then the next day they released this teaser trailer for a new secret Ghostbusters movie. This is going to be directed by Jason Reitman, and a lot of people are stoked about it because it's going to be featuring or a continuation of the first 2 movies and not the reboot back.
Leslie
in
Jones one
2016.
didn't happen.
Yeah.
I love the fact they said that, and then Leslie Jones actually got butthurt.
Oh yeah, of course they did. It's one of those. Why can't they both be there? Why do you have to, ignore us? Are you misogynist to the point you don't need to have any women in your universe?
Nope, just
We're never
misogynist
saying-
over, bad movies.
Yeah, it wasn't a good movie at all. Hell, when I started Movies Anywhere,
Yeah, it
account-
was a free movie. you
yeah, it was
got.
a free movie I got.
I know, because I gave you shit when you're like, do you want my login? Sure. Jason, what the fuck did you buy Ghostbusters? It was a free movie.
Yeah,
You didn't have to download it. It came with it.
yeah, I had
No,
no
choice.
choice.
You just ignore it. No. Like, when I downloaded it, it immediately said, here's your free movie, and it gave me Ghostbusters. Cool. So Movies Anywhere pulled, like, a U2 Apple iTunes thing where it's like, here's a free thing. I don't want it. Please
Too
take
bad.
it back. Please take it back.
Yeah, pretty much. So.
But see, here's the weird thing. They're immediately claiming that you're hating on us because we're women again. I would love nothing more if they went back to the original screenplay that they were talking about doing years ago,
Mhm.
where like 1 or 2 of the Ghostbusters was female.
Yes.
Remember, because one of the original rumors was having Tina Fey as one of them. And I
That's right,
immediately
you
was
were-
like, fuck yeah, I'm on board for that.
That'd be amazing. But a lot of people will go back as well and say, "Do you really need this?" Because
Yes, I do need Tina Fey as a Ghostbuster.
Well, Tina Fey as a Ghostbuster would be amazing.
And Amy
yes.
Poehler, have both of them.
There wouldn't be anything but those 2. Okay, that actually would be kind of nice, actually.
No one says
That's
they have
fine.
to be in a group of 4.
That's true. I mean, we're only getting scants of rumors and bits of information about this because they did a trailer. It's just a storm, an abandoned barnyard,
You
and
didn't want to call it a
Ecto-1.
storm. It could just be some electrical bullshit.
Some bullshit.
Yeah.
Whatever. But
Well, and Ernie Hudson's like, we're all coming back.
I would love for them to all come back. That makes perfect sense. And I do like the fact that it's Jason Reitman that's actually directing this.
Well, yeah.
Well, because his
He
dad
grew up with it, and his dad was...
his dad directed the first Ghostbusters movie. Jason himself grew up on that set,
Mhm.
running around and seeing everybody and whatnot. I think it's a perfect
Oh, yeah.
addition for that. If we can just get past all those people complaining about the 2016 Ghostbusters
Look,
and why it's not
again,
getting
I'm
included.
excited, just like I was excited when they first announced Ghostbusters.
Mhm.
We're getting more Ghostbusters. And then once I saw the trailer and found the cast, I was like, oh, no.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, cool, you got me excited again. I don't
Right.
see how this can go bad. I mean, I can, and it did. But I will remain until I see something.
I mean, they haven't even started really production yet, so we're
Yeah,
talking.
They literally just came out. It's like Iron Reitman's written and directed some shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, he's directing and he's written some shit.
Mhm.
Be prepared when it happens. And then Ernie Hudson, I believe that's his name.
Yeah.
He came out and he's like, yeah, we're all coming back.
I mean, minus,
Yeah.
those, yeah. Anyways, so with that out, let's just dive into a boatload of different trailers that have come out over the past
'Kay.
couple weeks. We're gonna go through this kind of rapid fire runner. The most recent one, Spider-Man: Far From Home. We have a new trailer. Looks like Peter Parker's going out on a trip to Europe, and then he sees Mysterio. Cool. And then all of a sudden he gets recruited by Sam
Fury.
Jackson himself, Fury. A lot of people were diving into this as they do.
Mm-hmm.
They go through every single piece of dialogue, every single scene, every single frame.
Oh
to try
yeah,
to find
like the
some
name of the
detail.
fucking boat is like A something, or it's AS11 something. I think it's like 113 or some shit.
Mhm.
I mean, if I'm wrong, fucking
You let us know. Yeah, that's fine.
tell me how I'm wrong, or at least how way off I was. Where it's like that was the first appearance of Sandman or Mysterio or something like that. Like that
Mhm.
was the issue.
Right.
And there was another one where someone went even way fucking banana pants crazy, and like saw something when Peter's going to brush his teeth, like the shit that he has on his wall, where it looks like it forms these letters and numbers, and that's the same number of the issue that was fucking the Clone Saga.
That's just
Yeah, I heard that. I'm like, look, I'm all for that because that whole series was cool. We got Ben Reilly, we got a bunch of cool shit.
right.
Even if it's, which one did come first? I think the TV show version came first, right? Spider Wars.
I want to say yes.
I'm 90% sure Spider Wars came before Clone Saga.
Mhm.
If I'm wrong, say something. He'll let me know. I don't read that shit, but he does. But like someone's like, it was this. I'm like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
I just watched it and went, cool. He has a weird stealth suit that looked like a weird Spider-Man noir suit.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. You know, I get to see that the fact that Mysterio has his dome
Yeah.
at one point. And I'm like, all right, I'm in.
I mean, it's gonna be fun. Like, you don't have to dive into it. Yes. And we're gonna get to this part in a later on the show.
Was it because Happy was trying to sleep with Aunt May now?
Aunt May. Some people are like, "Where's Tony Stark? Did he actually die? What the
Yeah.
hell happened to it? Why is it's called? Why is Fury saying so good to finally meet you, Spider-Man? When it was supposed to be in the upcoming Avengers Endgame, a scene that has every single character we've ever had and whatnot. So does that mean that Fury wasn't part of that? I'm like,
Fury was never really on the front lines once he became, Fury.
no, he was.
Like in the original days when it was like the Howling Commandos and shit like that.
Right.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
in the good old days. You know what? Sam Jackson, not my Fury. Come on, let's go back to when it was
Not
David
my Fury.
Hasselhoff.
Oh my god.
Come on.
Do you really want to go back to those days?
No, that movie was a fucking train wreck and it was amazing.
Of course it was a train wreck.
Anyways,
Yeah.
way off topic again. Spider-Man Far From Home. You gave me enough information to get me a little tingly, and gave me with enough questions. Like, I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I
Yeah.
want to see it.
That one comes out July 5th. We don't wait too much longer for that one.
I mean, the only thing it doesn't have off the first one is the fact it doesn't have Michael Keaton that we know of.
Yeah, I know. That we know of.
Well, dude, even Kevin Smith came out recently, and they're like, Warner Brothers is missing a golden opportunity. Do the Batman Beyond movie and have Keaton be Batman, the original Bruce Wayne.
Oh.
Because we saw memes for that for the longest time.
Yeah.
Like, I saw one sent it in our group chat, and Jess was like, hard eyes. I'm like, fucking right. Yeah?
Mhm. Awesome.
Dude, and you saw the pop finals, right?
I did see the pop finals, yes.
Or was it Batman's 80th
Mhm.
birthday? Like, half of them are from the 89 Batman.
I look through all that, I'm like, I don't need it. But
Well,
I do want
they
it.
look cool. The combination one, the one that's the Joker with glasses, like
Mhm.
like he just got knocked the fuck out, and Batman just kind of standing over him. That was cool. But I think Jess is right. Like what they should have done is like the Joker with his balloons, or something at least involving the Burton mobile.
Yeah, that's a missed opportunity right there. Who knows? Maybe they'll come out with something last
But it was
second,
pretty rad.
Yeah, it was.
Anyhoozle, yeah, Spider-Man was rad. Your thoughts?
Ditto?
Let
Yeah,
me go
that
on like
point-
3 different tangents for the one
Well,
story.
that's what happens. That's all fine. I mean, with Spider-Man, I look at it, I'm going to enjoy it. You're always going to question what happened at the end of Avengers Endgame. We're going to find out before Spider-Man.
See, that
Far
is
From
the
Home.
one thing that
Just
worried me, though.
enjoy it.
It's because like it's with Endgame being its big thing. First off, did it bother you when like the internet was like, "That's not Avengers 4 is going to be called something else"? Like, no, they blatantly said it was called
In
Endgame
the
at the
movie,
end.
we're in the Endgame now.
Well, yeah, that was in like the actual movie, but then
Yeah.
eventually, like, yeah, no, if number 4 is called Endgame.
Yeah.
And then it's like Endgame, bum bum bum, and everyone's like, they announced the name of it. It's like we already fucking knew it.
Yeah, we did.
Everybody knew.
And again, it's a name. And the Russos have come out numerous times and said, you guys have read the comics backwards and forwards. You could probably quote the entire comic series. This isn't the comic series.
Well, yeah, which is cool because they were the first thing that's like, look,
We're gonna do our
don't
version.
expect anything.
Yeah.
Like you know the comic book version. This is the MCU version. That's what we're
Exactly.
giving you.
If I'm gonna see
We're gonna try to give you
scene by
something new
scene
and
cut
fresh.
of the comic, I'll just read the comic. Show me something new.
I don't know if I want to do that again. That was a lot.
Yeah.
Do you not remember like that fat fucking book?
The Infinity Gauntlet. It was what 1,450 pages.
Yeah, something
Yeah,
weird like
some
that.
ridiculous amount like that.
Which reminds me, I still need to actually read your Age of Ultron.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was.
Well, no,
I enjoyed Infinity Gauntlet a lot more than it.
I was having a nerd conversation with a friend of mine, and they were talking about cosplaying with their significant other,
Uh-huh.
and apparently he's really into Spawn.
Okay.
And he mentioned some character. It was like Spawn and some character I don't remember. Angela.
Okay.
Because Angela apparently was a character that was written by Neil Gaiman
Mm-hmm.
as like a guest writer on Spawn
Mhm.
or for Spawn,
Right.
and then eventually when he jumped ship and started writing for Marvel, he's like, I'm taking the character with me,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the most weirdest convoluted fucking storyline ever. But like the only reason I bring it up because apparently that was her introduction into the Marvel universe. Was
Oh my
in that
God!
story,
Really?
was in that story because like at some point,
The weirdest way you could possibly try to introduce someone to that, and they go that path. Okay.
because the Todd McFarlane tried to sue Neil Gaiman for owner
No, he did sue.
and lost.
Yeah.
But I mean, like the whole like that character makes. Oh, good God! The more and more I read into Spawn,
There's a lot of characters in comics that don't make sense.
like Spawn though,
Spawn is definitely one of those as it's so far out there. I mean, it's not crazy like Ten Eyes.
okay, that's like this. That's going back to like the '60s where it's like you're throwing
shit
throwing
against
enough
the
shit
wall.
against the wall and see what's sick.
Yeah.
Kidding me? Fucking Kite Man,
Kite Man. Yep.
Polka Dot Man. You want to go further into Batman's
No,
rogue
we
gallery?
did an episode of all this. Remember, way back. Yeah.
Like I that shit. It's, but you know what I mean. They don't bring those characters out.
No.
They only bring them out for like nostalgia reasons, where it's like, hey, we're doing an anthology about Batman.
Yeah.
Remember when these characters were a fucking thing?
Mhm.
That's like going as far as bringing up fucking like Batmite,
That is true.
which is
Yeah,
the
that
Batman
is true.
equivalent of the Great Kazoo.
Okay.
Which, cool. I will say this: the cool thing about Batmite, I remember when they brought him on Batman: The Brave and the Bold.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually Paul Dini. He was the voice of Batmite.
Was it?
Yeah,
Okay. I've only seen one episode of Batman: Brave and the Bold.
it's not a bad show once you can get past it.
Okay, because that art style, like,
The art style I'm fine with,
it took some getting used to.
Like-
I couldn't get past
and
it.
it does have weird jokes that like they should fall flat, but because it's me and I'm like there's one part where he's beating up a bunch of thugs and one of them was dressed like a girl, and he's like, "You wouldn't hit a girl, would you?" The hammers of justice, no gender. And he just like hits him. Like,
All
what
right.
is this?
All right. Fair enough. We got way off base on all of this.
So Spider-Man.
Yeah,
looks
Spider-Man.
great.
Spider-Man looks fun. we'll get to it in July when it comes out. But before that, of course, we're gonna have Avengers Endgame, which we finally have that
Mhm.
trailer out, and people lost their shit.
Well, because it looks good.
It does.
Like, dude, Lauren sent me that message at like 6 in the morning.
Mm-hmm. I woke up at like 5:30. I'm like, quickly just check Facebook and ooh.
Yeah. Like, Lauren sent it to me. It's like, cool, I'll watch it when I get to work because I need to get ready and go
Right.
to work.
Yeah.
And like, as I'm on my way to work, I get it again. I'm like, God damn it, Jason just sent it to me again.
Yes.
This is usually a long red light. I got time. Which broke the usual rule of conduct because I have a few people, 2 females specifically, or one who told me I'm not allowed to text while driving. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't normally do that. Promise me. No, you don't have to worry about me. Promise me. Jesus. You know, because if I
Alright.
promise, you know I'm going to have to.
Yep. Keep
But
that promise.
But I broke that rule because I
need.
needed to watch Avengers. 'Cause I knew you fuckers would start talking about it nonstop.
Oh, it was one of those. I said it to you. I'm like, he's gonna watch it. Hopefully, before he leaves for work, and when he gets to work, we can talk about it. Because I go to work and like, there's no one there who like really watches it other than, oh yeah, I saw it was kind of cool. They don't read the comics. They don't know the backstory. They don't want to.
I barely know the backstory in comics.
But it's something you want to talk about. There's like, oh okay, yeah, it's fine, and then go back to their.
Oh yeah, I mean I've already told you. God help you all if I ever actually like, win the lottery or somehow make some doodad that makes me billions. Because I'll be the first person to be like, here's my nerd library.
Yeah,
Like I would go full blown scholarly with all my nerd shit.
it'd be amazing.
But Endgame looks good. There's literally
Endgame
nothing
looks
but
good.
mysteries.
Yeah, it follows the path that we're looking for a trailer. Get people hyped, introduces a couple aspects of it. Do not give away the story, because there's some trailers out there. They give you the beginning, the twist, the finale, all
Ghostbusters
right there.
3.
Yeah, it's just
Oh, sorry, Ghostbusters. It was just called Ghostbusters, right?
it was just called Ghostbusters.
Lady Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters 3 was actually a game on the Xbox 360 that
Which everyone actually gave a lot of praise for.
because it was written by Harold Ramis and Dan Aykroyd.
Makes sense.
They basically went and said, this is the script that we would have used if we made a Ghostbusters 3. Had all the original cast come back to reprise
Yeah.
their voice roles and go through it. You don't have to go down and play it, right? Play it. It's on Xbox 360 and PS3. But there's already people out there who have taken all the cutscenes and cinematics and whatnot and put that into a 2-hour movie format on
Cool.
YouTube. So you just watch that.
I'll go to YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. It's not bad for what it is. It would have been a hell of a lot of fun. If they take some of those ideas and put it to the new Ghostbusters film, I'd be all fine with that. But we're already off track.
We'll see. Maybe they could do something better. Wouldn't surprise me. But remember, technically, Nightmare Before Christmas had a sequel too.
Yeah, it was a manga.
Oh, before that, there was a PS2 game.
That's right, there was.
Nightmare Before Christmas 2, Oogie's Revenge.
I never played that.
Neither did I. I don't hate myself that much.
Yeah,
and at that point, I wasn't of age, so I couldn't drink through the hard times.
So you had to pick and choose your battles.
Mm.
But anyways, next movie, Hellboy. It's just me, but this looks fun.
Oh, yeah.
Like when they announced that they were going to reboot Hellboy and it wasn't going to be Ron Perlman, I was sad. I enjoyed Ron Perlman's Hellboy.
Yeah. Well, because even then, they made it abundantly clear that Ron Perlman's Hellboy is Guillermo del Toro's Hellboy. Like, it's not the comics. This is our own thing. We have approval from Mike Mignola to do our shit, but it's not. This is something entirely different.
Right.
And it worked.
It did.
The only thing I'm sad about is the fact that, we'll never really see how that ends. Because they did try to set that up for a trilogy, and we won't
it's
see
just
it.
open-ended, but we'll never see that.
Whatever.
But with that being said,
we get more Dylan Harbor or whatever.
Yeah. I'm fine with it. It looks fun. It retains a lot of the
Ian McShane.
style.
Ian McShane and all the things.
Ian McShane's great as an actor anyway, so.
He's one of those actors I feel like nobody knows who the fuck he is.
But if you
unless I whip out my phone, it's like, this is Ian McShane.
Oh, that guy.
Show a photo and they're like, oh, that guy. I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, that guy. Like, I still hate that people gave him shit when he was on Game of Thrones. He's like, whatever. People only watch this for tits and dragons. And everyone revolted, and it's like, really?
But that's
what
true.
it is.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, yeah, it's oversimplification, but yeah, it's tits and dragons. Like, I don't see why.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not wrong.
What were the big things at the end of the season finale? Ice dragon, tits.
I thought incest and Winter Olympics.
Same difference.
The fuck was that?
I don't know.
He had excellent form. We know that.
Yes, that's true. He
taking down dragons from yards away.
Yes. Next up, Men in Black International. There's always been talk of a new MIB film, distant star Will Smith or why am I?
Well, it was always sans them. It was always sans Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith.
Tommy Lee Jones. Thank you.
The only thing I'm sad about was I remember, I think it was like last year or 2 years ago. I have no concept of time. Thank you, booze, for killing my brain cells. But it was they were working on a 21 Jump Street sequel where they teamed up with Men in Black.
Yes. That was dead in the water as of about 4 years ago.
Was it that long ago?
Yeah, it was 4 years ago.
Jesus.
So,
see what I mean? No concept
now
of
they're
time.
making Men in Black International. On a side note for that, they just announced last week they're actually writing the screenplay for 24 Jump Street.
Yes, they're skipping one in the like. We'll make the joke later.
Yeah, exactly. Casting.
Oh, I love
Chris Hemsworth and why am I drawing a blank on Tessa's name?
Tessa Thompson.
Tessa Thompson. Thank you.
I'm blanking on Tessa's name.
I can remember.
You
the last
remembered
name.
the hard part, Tessa, but you couldn't remember Thompson.
Yeah. I have weird things. Anyways.
Bless those baby blues. I can't stay mad at those.
Well, yeah.
So anyways, no, the movie looks
it looks fun. I mean, I'm calling right now because you saw it in the first 15 seconds of the trailer. Liam Neeson's the bad guy.
Yeah, but it's more or less the fact that this movie, it's what you want from an action movie.
Yes.
Like, you're going into it, you're not expecting.
It's a popcorn flick.
Yeah.
You're not expecting anything really outrageous except for fun action
The
sequences,
occasional pee-pee joke,
comedy,
some explosions,
some nice references to other films and whatnot, a la Thor.
Yeah. I would be incredibly surprised if they don't.
They did in the trailer.
Yeah.
So.
Well, more than that.
Yeah. It'd be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that one.
I hate Hemsworth, by the way.
Why do you hate Hemsworth?
Because he's like a white version of Terry Crews. He's too good at all the things.
You know, I never even thought of like that. You're right, because action. He has the comedic timing ever since. I mean, look at Ragnarok was the pinnacle of that. But he had that even before in the earlier ones when they were trying to be too serious and whatnot.
Yeah,
he always broke through with that. Yeah, that.
And we've seen
I never even thought about that.
Even if you want to think about in terms of like action and just like deep. Again, I still stand to this day. Thor 1, easily one of my top 3 favorite superhero movies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that movie's fucking amazing. I definitely understand a lot of it probably has to do with Kenneth Branagh
Mm-hmm.
being like the force behind that, because that movie's fucking amazing.
Yes.
But the fact that you could see him do dark and serious, you can see him be light and goofy, you can see him do comedy. I'm like, nah, motherfucker, pick one. Okay. Have you never played D&D? You can't immediately max out all your stats. You kind of pick one tree and you fucking work on it. You piece of shit.
Start off with Thor, and then Thor 2. Yeah, we'll support through. And then you had Ragnarok, and he was just like all the funny shit.
Yeah. Or even then, anyone who saw the shit Ghostbusters movie, oh my god, this movie's getting shat on, and it wasn't even supposed to be. Anyone I know who has seen that movie, though, says he was the best part.
I will admit right now, I actually sat down and watched it. It was free. I sat down. Chris Hemsworth was the best part of that fucking film.
White Terry Crews.
Because he played a fucking moron in it. Who ends up getting possessed and then becomes all super villainish.
But again, and I'm sure he played it fucking super well.
Oh, he totally
And I'm sure
did.
comedic-wise, he probably played it over the top and perfect in like a Snidely Whiplash kind of way, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
I knew nothing, and I'm calling this shit.
You're not wrong. Everything else about the movie was fucking horrible. Fuck everyone who was about that film, by the way. Except Chris Hemsworth. He was amazing.
We do need to have a movie night so we can watch Dr. Goldfoot.
Yes.
Because I feel like that needs to be a drunken movie watching.
We can't just dive right into that. Explain that scene that you had to share.
Okay, so first off, let me explain. One of my bosses, like a guy I work with.
Yeah.
Adam. He talked about how in his Arizona office where he works,
Right.
they show, or they have this weird sci-fi channel that they'll put on from time to time,
Right.
and it plays over the top and ridiculous things. And he's like, yeah, there's some movie, it's called like The Bikini Machine starring Vincent Price. And I'm like,
What?
and I immediately Googled it, and the only scene that showed up for free on YouTube, oh my god, it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever fucking seen.
It really is.
Because
I couldn't believe this was an actual thing.
Because the full title of the movie is Dr. Goldfoot and the Bikini Machine. And it's Vincent Price is an evil genius who has created basically fembots.
I mean, he's just in a robe the entire time anyways. Yeah.
Again, the 3-minute scene or however long it is. He's wearing like this like Hugh Hefner like velvet like smoking jacket.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got like weird elf pointy shoes that like even curl like a ridiculous amount. And like he's just teaching women of like how to seduce men, like that's the only purpose. And like by the end of the clip, it's like, what is this one doing? She's getting her musical education. What has she learned? They like take the word headset thingy off, and they all just start dancing for no fucking reason.
And then he jumps in as well.
Oh yeah, he immediately starts dancing too before stopping, going, wait. And that was the end of the clip that I saw.
Well, you said it to me, and I sat there. I'm like, the fuck did I just watch?
Yeah. Again, Adam gave me no other like, yeah, that's a
no
thing.
other context
You're welcome.
text whatsoever.
So I went online and it was like $4.99 to rent it, and I went on Amazon and it was like $12.99
To buy
it on DVD, and it comes with the sequel.
All right, we're gonna have to watch that.
So that one,
so that's
obviously
gonna happen. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like that needs to be a thing where there will be many Little Caesar hot and readies and some booze involved.
That's gonna be a fun night. We'll let you guys know what happens with that.
There's no way that's gonna end.
No
way that's gonna end badly. Because let's be honest, even if it ends bad, we'll just end up talking over and mystery sciencing it.
And I'm fine with that. You know what's funny? We started this whole thing up with conversation starters, and we've spent almost 40 minutes on all of this.
This is what happens, Jason. You gave me tangent blue balls. Okay, it's been months.
I know.
It's
been building up inside.
Okay, it's like New Orleans. Just the levees were ready to burst, and then just ruined everything.
That's a really bad way to put it.
No, I'm cool with it.
All right. Anyways.
Have you ever known me to be good at anything?
Well, yeah. Okay, fair enough. Anyway.
Except for being an asshole, I'm pretty decent at that.
Quality. Last trailer. We got the final trailer for Godzilla King of Monsters.
Dude, the first time
I cannot wait for this film.
The first trailer that they released at, like, I think it was like Comic-Con last year, right?
You and I were absolutely fucking hyped for this.
Oh,
thing.
I almost fucking shed a tear. About how goddamn beautiful it was.
They're throwing everybody in this, and they're giving them their due.
And again, it was like you just see like silhouettes
I mean,
Like it's not like they were blatantly just like, I'm Godzilla, I'm fucking shit up, or Mothra or whoever.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like you got silhouettes, and it was all like in weird, beautiful slow motion behind like fog and shit like that, or destruction. You just had fucking Claire de Lune playing in the background.
Mm-hmm. So good. I didn't have Ken Watanabe going though. Let them fight.
I was already getting teary-eyed just talking about that again.
Oh, when that comes out, we'll see that opening night. That'll be amazing.
Like, I don't even care. That might be a movie. It's like, we're gonna go see it at midnight, or the bullshit where they're like, you want to go see it at 7 o'clock?
7 o'clock
Thursday?
because it's a midnight showing. Whatever.
I hate that shit.
Yeah.
I really do.
Whatever happened to it's just midnight, so you camped out and you actually saw it at 12:01 a.m. And anyways,
Dude, I remember, like, at least we cheated. We would go to the Block, or whatever the fuck they want. It's the Block.
it's the block. They'll
And
never
it's
change
like
that.
they'll just keep opening more and more screenings, which is why we always went there.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh yeah, no, we already saw it
I
at
did
7.
the same thing. I mean, with all the Lord of the Rings series, the original, the
I was
Star
the
Wars prequel
motherfucker when
show.
we went and saw Star Wars. It's like, yeah, I already saw it. It's the midnight screening. Yeah, but they had one at like 7, and Jess wanted
And
to
I
go
went to
see
go
it.
see it. Yeah.
Like, you son of a bitch. And you're like, that's cool. We need to wrap this
I
up.
still
Because my
remember-
friends are going to go see it again at like 4 a.m. and I got to go meet up with them.
Yeah. I still remember going to see Star Wars Episode 2. There was a midnight showing. We got there at 7 o'clock, realized the midnight showing was sold out. They were opening up more screens, and then went, okay, so we can either just call it a night, because we had tickets to go to E3. We either go to E3,
We're just going to go see
Or-
it again.
we can stay around. They have a showing at 3:30 a.m.
And that was
Fuck
number
it, let's
2.
do it. Yeah.
That was number 2. You saw
I
Attack
know.
of the Clones that many times?
Attack of the Clones. I saw them an embarrassing number of times. Anyways.
Don't get
But-
me wrong. Like, I get it. It's Star Wars. Like, it was cool. I remember when I feel old, when I was in 7th grade when that movie came out,
Jesus.
I remember, like, everything was really cool. The fact that, like, Yoda was doing flips and shit. It was.
Oh, yeah. I remember the first time I saw the film, and I went, holy
Yeah.
shit, that's actually finally happening. The hour and 20 minutes beforehand was shite, but yeah.
We didn't
Well,
know
you-
any better, Jess.
Call me a loser, but you married me, so,
That's
love
fair.
you.
I think my favorite was a buddy of mine. I think I told you about Joyce. Like,
Yes.
the authority in Star Wars in my eyes.
Right.
I went to Beer Wednesday with a friend of mine, Becca.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, I love Star Wars. My favorite one is Episode 2." I immediately looked at her.
sorry,
It's like,
what?
what? She goes, "Yeah, I know. That was always just kind of my favorite. Like, that was kind of her first."
Explain.
Again, I'm good.
Good, thank you, hon.
Everyone's different. I know. Like, I think it's because she has like, I think that blind side for the campy and ridiculous, and that movie is the embodiment of that.
Oh, it's
So I
totally
think that's why
campy.
she was able to look over that.
Mhm.
I'm 90% sure that was probably the first Star Wars movie she saw.
Oh, okay. So that
So
kind of
if you don't have anything like
you don't
anything
have a point
good,
of reference.
yeah,
Yeah.
you don't have that like this is what good Star Wars is supposed to be.
Okay. That
But
all makes sense now.
When
Okay.
they met later, she goes, "I have to go to the bathroom." Oh, okay, cool, go bye. And I was talking to Joyce for a bit, and he's like, "Wait, so who is she? That's Becca. You leave her. You don't need that kind of negativity." She said Episode 2 was her favorite. You could literally leave right now. I will pay your tab, and you leave her here and never talk to her again. I will allow that and allow it to happen. It's okay. That's Joyce. This is the same guy who got turned into a meme and has a t-shirt of it where it's him riding a unicorn, wearing a t-shirt of himself with a lightsaber over a rainbow.
All right then.
That man's magnificent. But anyhoozle, Godzilla looks good.
Godzilla
We'll
looks
definitely
fun.
be seeing that.
Yeah, we'll talk all about it when that comes out. Let's talk Oscars for a quick second. So the nominations came out, and the Oscars have already had a whole bunch of controversy this year already, given the fact that they were thinking that, do we need popular
Well, yeah, they were
movies
doing like the most
category?
popular movie, and that was just like, we don't need to.
That
turn
was a
this into
concession for Black Panther at that point.
Well, no, they were mentioning that.
Mhm.
I think a lot of that was something else. But yeah, no, they wanted to try to cater. I think they were trying to cater to just like a younger audience.
They were. They're all. The whole thing is all about ratings. It's not about their prestige. It's literally about ratings at that point.
Well, it's become something bigger than what it used to be.
Yes, completely.
Like back in the day, and it was probably just about like acknowledging the best works at that time.
Yes.
Like the Oscars are what, like on their 100 or no, they're not that far. Because
they're
the
not
first
that far yet.
Oscars were in 1932, I want to say.
I forget which one it is.
Early 1930s.
Anyways, yeah.
But I mean, they've been around for fucking forever. So back then, when it was just kind of an industry thing, like you could literally, it was just people
Right.
picking within the industry what they thought the best
Yeah,
work was. And that's what it was
exactly.
supposed to be.
Now it's just all a business part about the whole thing. Because
What's up?
even if you get
It's been around
nominated,
90 years. What year did it first come out?
you have Google. Anyways, we'll get back to that. So the reason why we're bringing that up is because Black Panther actually got nominated for Best Picture among 6 other categories.
Bunch of movies I don't care about. I mean,
Yeah.
because literally I haven't seen any of these except for one.
Black Panther, Black Klansman, haven't seen. Bohemian Rhapsody, haven't seen yet. The Favorite, haven't seen. Green Book, I want to see.
Oh, that's right, because you guys were supposed to go see Bohemian Rhapsody, and then you fucking saw Wreck-It Ralph 2 before me.
And how many
when that
times
was the original plan.
How many times have you wanted to? We tried to drag you to go see Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Anyways, we also have
None.
The Favorite,
None.
Green Book,
No, fuck you,
Roma.
none.
No, we've tried you a couple times.
No, because the first time we were supposed to go see it, we didn't end up making, because we ended up going back to my mother's house while Craig was there.
Yes.
That was the first time we were supposed to go see
Yes.
it. Then after that, it never really happened.
Oh, it totally
And
happened.
you made the comment, when you want to go see it, let me know and we will go.
Yes.
The only way you get a free pass in this was the fact that you're like, if we go on this day, would you go? Yeah. Then we're going.
I'll give it that. Okay. Anyways, but yeah. So the Best Picture lineup is Black Panther, Black Klansman,
What was I
Bohemian
doing?
Rhapsody, The Favorite, Green Book, Roma, which is the big Netflix one that people are controversial about, A Star Is Born, and Vice. We're not going to dive into all these categories.
We just wanted to mention how rad it was, the
Yeah.
fact that Black Panther is actually nominated and it's actually getting recognized.
With that being said, Best Animated Feature. You have Incredibles 2, Isle of Dogs, Mirai, Ralph Breaks the Internet, and
Into the
Spider-Man,
Spider-Verse,
Into
which
the
should
Spider-Verse.
win.
It should. I believe it won the Golden Globe already.
Yes.
And it won the Critics' Choice Award, if I'm not correct.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm saying yes to all of this.
I mean, I'm happy that Mirai got.
You never want to speak
got
in
a
the
nomination.
affirmative, because in case there's always that weird chance where you might be wrong, and the internet's gonna fucking turn on you.
The internet's already turned this on, anyways. Oscars 91st anniversary. Okay,
That's
All
a
right.
lot of math.
fair enough. But yeah, so I love the fact that Mirai was nominated. It's Mirai. It's an anime. Mamoru Hosoda is an amazing director, so I'm glad that it actually got nominated. It's not going to win.
Sorry, wasn't even paying attention to your shit. I just wanted to see Jessica get super sour over that. When you were going over, it's this director, and you pronounced it fucking probably flawlessly. I have no idea. And she's it.
I will kind of watch that. Anyways,
So
again, married. I don't have to hide it anymore.
we're hiding.
Oh, so
I saw those magazines.
you haven't seen my final form yet.
Have you though? You never did the towel dance for you.
All right. Oh, god damn it. Anyways, so Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is most likely going to win. I hope it's going to happen, even though it's going to beat out 2 Disney Pixar films. I'm fine with that.
That's what scares me though.
Incredibles 2 was fun. I enjoyed
Sorry,
it, but it
you
wasn't
have
a winner.
you have one Pixar and one Disney. Don't say 2 Disney Pixar.
It's
movies.
Disney Pixar at this point. Come on.
Ralph Breaks the Internet was just Disney. Because remember, they made a big deal. Like some people are making a big deal. This is the first time Disney's done a sequel in like 2 decades.
Disney, yes. Pixar, no.
Okay,
Yeah.
Disney. The last time Disney did a sequel,
Well, let me phrase that. Last time Disney did a sequel that went to theaters. They are notorious for
well,
taking
the weird like bullshit ones. Like
stuff,
I think the only one I think we can acknowledge its existence was the Beauty and the Beast, and it was like the Enchanted something. Just because the bad guy was a fucking pipe organ voiced by Tim Curry.
I'm sorry, what?
Jess?
Is that a thing? No, seriously, is that a
Enchanted
thing?
Christmas. It was a Christmas movie. Yeah.
That is an actual thing?
Yeah. Tim Curry was the pipe organ, and he was just kind of like, Beast, you don't need her. She's a devil woman.
Where the fuck have I been? I have not heard of this before.
Being a terrible individual.
That's true. I
Learning
probably
how
wouldn't
to
watch
pronounce
anime.
that dude's name.
Fuck you all. Anyways.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. It's why I can attribute Jess to coming in second place for a Disney-themed trivia night at a bar.
Oh, god
Keep in mind, the only one riding solo. I know you would have.
Yeah.
Because I remember I missed like 3 questions, And the two that I could remember, I'm like, yeah, it was this, and you're like, Jordan, how did you not know that? What do you mean? When Ursula became a human and she took human form, her name became Vanessa. How do you not know this? How the fuck am I supposed to know that? Like, she was disappointed in me, and I'm like, dude, I thought I did well.
Oh my
I went up
God.
against like 10 different teams.
Yeah. We went through two categories. There's only one more I want to go through just because I want to get your thoughts on it. Who do you think is going to win Best Visual Effects? Because you have Avengers: Infinity War, Christopher Robin, First Man,
I hope that loses.
Ready Player One, and Solo. Out of all that, what do you think is going to win?
I would love if it was Christopher Robin.
I agree. Avengers: Infinity War.
It was good, but I mean,
good,
it
but
was
it's nothing. First
but
Man,
I mean,
I never
like,
saw. Ready Player One, absolutely fucking
bringing
adored.
Pooh Bear and like the rest of the 100 Acre Woods to life, and not even that, bringing them to life, not in like that weird Songs of the South way where you have three-dimensional characters,
Yeah.
and then you have two-dimensional characters just kind of interacting.
No,
with
it was
them.
like stuffed animals got brought.
The fact that it looked like the actual original stuffed
Mhm.
animals came to life
It didn't help that, and I'll
because it was banned in China,
well, Chairman Mao is a fucking moron. But anyways,
but it wasn't lesbian Chairman Mao.
yeah.
Anywho,
God, those inside jokes. Anyways, I'll admit freely that movie I cried multiple times.
oh, I came dangerously close. Also, again, First Man, fuck off. I mean, at least Avengers: Infinity War, it was like cool, spectacular, cool shit. So yeah. Ready Player One, good God. I think I told you I finally watched that movie again.
Mm-hmm. Did it not hold up in your eyes?
Oh, I still sat there. It's like, I'm so glad they made a Buckaroo Banzai reference.
Yeah, that was quite
Like,
nice.
that's one of those things in my eyes that's way too underappreciated.
Yeah, very much so.
Which, Jess, if you ever want to watch a ridiculous, campy movie, it's on Hulu.
So.
Or at least it used to be.
All right. Well,
Buckaroo
almost
Banzai.
50 minutes in, we're finished with our conversation starters. Let's get to our main topic real quick, which is
He's
actually...
yin, Jess.
I love all these random conversations on the side. Let's talk about our main... Because I don't matter. Anyways.
You look into those baby blues and tell me otherwise.
Anyways.
Can't do it. I don't believe you.
Let's get to our top story, which is actually a double feature about Spider-Man. We're going to talk about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and the Spider-Man PS4 game. Let's talk about the movie first, Into the Spider-Verse. Hands down, my favorite movie of 2018.
The only thing that bothered me was when it got to that weird blurry vision. I know you said like that happens in comics. I don't see that though.
So what you're talking about is because the depth of field that you normally see with animated films and even real life and whatnot, you can see what's supposed to be in focus and what's not. To keep the
but
comic
I feel like they took it
style,
too far though.
They decided to take the stuff that's supposed to be out of focus into that half.
But it looked like we were trying to watch a movie in 3D, but without glasses.
Kinda, yeah. But you know what? I was perfectly fine with it. It's a matter of opinion.
I think they could have softened it a bit more so it wasn't as jarring.
Okay, I agree with you with that. It could have been less obvious in some scenes and whatnot. But overall, I didn't have a problem with it whatsoever. But that's just a personal preference.
That's fine. Yeah. Again,
that is the
considering that's my only
gripe. Arguing about that.
That's me nitpicking.
Yeah,
and I understand that because that movie was fantastic.
Every single character was well-rounded. Every single character had an understandable backstory and had a conclusion to it. Every character had a moment to shine. The action scenes were incredible.
I want more.
The fact that...
Sorry, my other gripe was I wanted more.
We want more.
I wanted more Spider-Gwen. I wanted more Spider-Ham. I wanted more Nicolas Cage being Nicolas Cage.
Oh, God.
Being
him as Spider-Man Noir was perfect. I like punching Nazis last time.
Where's that wind coming from?
We're in a basement.
Wherever I go, the wind goes, and it smells like rain. What the fuck? Sometimes I'll just light a match and let it burn down to my fingertips just so I can still feel something. What the fuck?
Oh, we don't pick the ballroom, we just dance. It's so good.
It's amazingly brilliant and god-awful.
So, okay, let's tie that into Spider-Ham.
John Mulaney.
John Mulaney was the perfect voice choice for that
because he
character.
sounds like a 1920s carnival barker.
He really does. But it was funny though, is that there was several articles that have been talking about this. I think you could read it on Screen Rant or Variety, a number of those. That when they were doing test screenings of it. They only had storyboards at the time. And
They had nothing.
They had a problem trying to push it forward because the fact that kids loved the character, parents hated the character. Once they started getting more into the animatics itself, they got into the problem of what jokes can we allow?
Yeah, how far are we going to allow us to be?
So
are we going to go PG-13 or PG?
You haven't read this article yet, right?
No.
Okay. So I'm going to try to repeat it from memory. There was a scene. They were in Miles' apartment. They were talking about the costs of possibly losing someone you love in the film. They were going through like, it was my Uncle Ben. It was my Uncle Benjamin. It was my friend Peter. And the original joke in that sequence was Peter Porker going, it was my Uncle Frankfurter. He was electrocuted and smelled delicious. It got the most laughs out of the entire fucking film.
And we never saw it?
The only downside is because it messed with the tone of the story at that scene.
See,
that is
again,
the only reason why we didn't get
having
that scene.
John Mulaney for that scene in general is probably one of the best things we could have ever asked for.
Oh, yeah, completely. I mean, all the things that they were telling him, like, just go nuts, try to make something up. And, like, half the stuff he put in there, they couldn't use.
Well, yeah, that was something he actually showed on, I think, Jimmy Kimmel?
Yes. Jimmy Fallon.
There you go.
Yeah. We watch late night television.
Some Jimmy character.
Yeah. Some late night TV that we really don't watch. But there was a whole thing with Spider-Ham. That was the hardest one to sell because everyone else kind of sold themselves perfectly fine. But with that,
well, I don't think Penny sold herself very well.
I was perfectly fine with Penny Parker. Perfectly fine with that character. It fit well with everything. I think it was fantastic. But with everything that's going on, to go and coincide with what you were talking about, you wanted more. They've already greenlit 2 different sequels. Another sequel to this film, and a standalone film starring more female Spider characters. So you'll probably have Spider-Gwen, obviously. Okay. You'll probably have Penny in there. Okay. You'll probably also have Silk, which is one of the other...
Another one, the Spider people.
Right. So that'd be curious to see what they do with all that.
You could probably do the daughter, too. Mayday.
Right. And there's also talk of a TV series featuring Peter Porker.
I'm down.
Yeah. So they're already talking about the opportunities and the possibilities of all this. It's going to be amazing. I cannot wait to see what they happen to do with this.
Look, the one thing you can appreciate is the fact that because it's so well received, is Hollywood's going to try to give us more.
Hollywood is totally going to give us more.
It just scares me because I know they're not the best at, oh, you want more? Let me give you some of this. No, that's not what I want. I wanted this other part that I liked. Well, you misinterpreted what I enjoyed.
You have to realize that the other part about this, one of the reasons why this movie works so well, is because it was produced and written by half of Lord and Miller.
Yes.
With them in place, they were able to have such strong grasp of the story and the comedic timing of it all that they were able to go through and create some amazing events and effects that help contribute to the fact that this is such a popular film at all. It is, going like gangbusters in the in the box office. I've personally seen it 3 times in theaters.
But see, I blame it on the fact that I honestly believe they didn't have that high of a hopes behind it, because it feels like something where they just told the creators, "Go have fun."
They did.
We already agreed to do this, so we're gonna do it. We're doing amazing with Homecoming.
Right.
It's very obviously different.
They had a budget,
and we can go. No, I don't mean budget. I mean like. Studio controls like, whoa. You want to do a black Spider-Man?
Okay. Yeah.
No, Spider-Man's white.
Right.
What do you mean? Who's this Miles Morales character you're mentioning? There's no Miles.
Yeah.
Everyone knows Spider-Man is Peter Parker.
Right.
You're not going to use the phrase "with great power comes great whoa, what have you done? No. But that's what I mean, though.
Yeah.
Hollywood tends to try to pick and choose things. So if we're like, we loved Into the Spider-Verse. They're the ones to immediately go like, cool.
Right.
So you love just the fact that it was Black Spider-Man. No, we love the fact that like it was basically a giant love letter to the Spider-Men.
Yes.
And women.
Yes.
The Spider people, whatever.
Yeah.
That's what we loved. We got all these characters we've read into, we've adored them, and on top of that, we've gotten certain actors and voice actors who we love and adore to play these characters we love and adore. That's what we liked.
Yes.
And you stayed true to them. That's what we enjoyed.
Yes. No, it was overall astounding. There was only 2 points in the interview that Lord Miller had with this film. that said they had to pull back and say we can't do that. But the rest of it, it was just go for it, go as far as you can, just go, have fun with
But
it. Go hard.
again,
Yes,
I think that's because Sony was like, just go have fun.
yeah.
Which, that's what scares me, because we've seen you're doing a sequel.
Are you worried that they're
the
gonna start
market
doing...
tests well and says this is what you wanted,
Okay, so you're worried about them doing directing by committee,
or just going, this is what we know sells and this is what we know works.
right? Okay, instead of allowing them to tell a cohesive story, they're like, this did well with the focus groups. Create something with this.
Yeah.
That's not really what we're trying to look for. I do love the fact that we're trying to have this conversation while you're actually trying to make some more drinks for
That's
us to
fine.
have. I love the fact that you're doing that. Anyways,
That's why I turned sideways.
we can't say enough great things about this film. This is one of those films that came out of left field. I absolutely love it. I love the animation style. I love the fact they created 5 different animation styles for this, and it was able to find a way to merge them all together.
Because each character had their own style.
Yes.
Basically, that.
Yeah.
It was brilliant.
It was absolutely brilliant. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with this in the future. I look forward to what they're going to do in the future. I just worry that, like you say, they may try to do the whole, this worked in focus groups, not just, Lord Miller, you did a fantastic job in the first movie.
Or not even with focus
Just go do
group.
your own
Just that,
thing.
like, this is what we know works. This is what we know sells.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
So we're going to try to pump that up to 11 and go.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I also love all the little bits they put into all the little Easter eggs and whatnot. Seeing, Brian Michael Bendis show up in a
One of the contact
one
lists.
of the contact lists
The
itself.
pizza joint being Ramita Jr.'s.
Yeah, all these little things there, they didn't have to do.
Sorry, I
But
don't
they
trust
did.
these glasses, so I'm just rolling it.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. That makes sense. So the fact that they were able to go through with all that stuff, and it's for like fans like you and me that actually picked that up and go,
those
"That's
weird
amazing."
people who are actually going to know that.
Yeah, I was happy with that. It doesn't the fact that most people in the theater are not going to understand that. While it's there, they're just going to understand this was just part of the location or the scene.
Oh, again, I made Drea watch Community just so she would get the Community
The
reference.
one scene in there, yeah,
Where literally, if you blinked, you'd miss
in
it.
Uncle Arthur's apartment, yeah. Was it Arthur? Yeah, Arthur Allen or something like that. So, anyways,
The Prowler.
yeah, Prowler, yes. Okay, let's talk about the other one, Spider-Man on PS4. This has been a game by Insomniac Games, available exclusively on the PlayStation 4.
Mhm.
It's been, 4 or 5 years in the making.
Has it been that
It
long?
stars Yuri Lowenthal as the voice and the mocap actor for the majority of Peter Parker's movements within the game itself. I'm about 54% of the way through the game as a whole. You've beaten the actual main story, but
And I'm
you're
only at like 83.
right. We agree that this is absolutely phenomenal game.
Oh, yeah.
Not just in terms of the story.
So again, I understand we're incredibly late to the party on this one.
It doesn't matter. We got it for Christmas. Thank you, Jess. So, but I've enjoyed. What the fuck? Sorry.
So
for those
anyways-
you didn't hear that she was saying she found an Instagram story. What's it called? Chunky Animals.
Look at this cat.
My wife.
The
ladies and
laughter
gentlemen.
you probably heard, the actual words, no.
Yeah.
But anyways, Jess basically bought us.
It doesn't matter. We're not.
Look at these fat pugs.
What the fuck?
Look at them. Look at the rules. It is the best thing ever.
That's
Is that what you
animal
were sending
neglect. That's what it is.
Oh no, he's just a chunky fat. Look at this beefy guy. No.
Oh my god. Anyways,
How are those still getting through?
that's precious.
Like, I just realized my phone's on airplane mode, but all the stupid shit Jess has been sending us still went through.
Because you're probably on the Wi-Fi. That's why.
Okay.
Anyways,
Trying to figure that shit
Jordan.
out.
we go
Look at
off
this
the rails
baby
at this
penguin.
episode every once in a while. Anyways, so Spider-Man PlayStation 4, absolutely amazing game. But here, just break it down to the simple point. Yes, that is absolutely adorable.
So anyways, when I first
This
got the
is
game...
a corgi. He looks like a potbelly pig.
No,
Okay.
that looks like a pig in a blanket.
a very hairy blanket.
Um,
Anyways,
So no, literally, when I first finally started the game, like, I fucked off and, like, just played the game for, like, maybe 6 hours.
mm-hmm.
Sorry.
And it was like, Jordan, how many story missions have you done? Maybe 2, because it made me.
Right, yeah.
And I just did nothing but those missions until eventually it's like, Jordan, go do some story missions. because we're putting an end to you just doing side shit. Fine.
Yeah.
I'll find a mix of both, you piece of shit. Fine.
Yeah, I'm about 54% of the way through the game itself, and I've been 100%ing all these side stories and all the little side quests that you can do in it. And I've enjoyed every single moment of it. The action, the fighting, the combat scenes
The combat
work well.
took me a while, though.
Really?
Because there's a lot to take in.
There's a hell of a lot to take in. I haven't unlocked like half of the moves.
Oh, my skill tree is 100 already.
You 100%.
All 3.
Okay. But I have to boil this all down to the ability and how fun it is and how simple it is to just swing around that entire island.
Well, I very rarely do the fast travel system.
No, there's no point.
I've done it maybe a handful of times because I was getting in my head. I was like, okay, if I'm at the bottom of the map, I'll just fast travel to the top and just slowly zigzag and do everything I can.
There's no need.
Oh, I have. It's like, all right, I can at least save myself the 2-3 minutes. But it's incredibly rare when I'm like,
Yeah.
it's really only like, if we're going east to west,
There's no point.
I'll just fucking swing it.
North to south. I
North
can
to
see
south,
that.
like, okay, cool. Then yeah, I'm just gonna skip ahead.
It is a giant map, but it is.
What do you mean
so...
a giant map? It's New York.
Yeah, but it's so.
That's not a giant map. That's just a map of New York.
I know what it really is, but it is so much fun to just swing around. All the things you can do, all the tricks you can do, all the ability to either swing as fast as you can or try to go as high as you can, try to dive down. Just swinging around by itself is a game in itself that I thoroughly enjoyed.
My record is like 5 flips.
5 flips, really? Wow.
Because I actually went to the highest building, not the Avengers, like the second highest one.
Oscorp?
Ran all the way to the top, and it's like, all right, cool, and just did like the one flip where you're just doing backflips.
Right.
It's like, all right, let's see how many I can get.
But it's just so much fun, just going around. Now, diving in the story, I've only gotten maybe a third of the way through the storyline itself. Thoroughly enjoying it so far.
Well, you're
It
at
works
Sables,
well.
so you're actually maybe about halfway.
Oh, really? Okay.
The
Well, 'cause
amount
like
of
you said,
collectibles and side shit.
Okay, that's why, because I'm 100% everything so far. You actually went through some of the side stuff, but actually finished the story, and you're at what, 80 something? Yeah, okay, so I'm kind of on the right path at that point. Everything works in. I love the fact that even the simple things at the beginning, like the backpacks, there were so many
The
things.
backpacks and the cell towers, like that's what caused me my first like 12 hours in that game.
Yeah, no, doing stuff like the cell towers and the backpacks was a lot of fun, but the parts, especially in the backpacks that you get, and they start talking about little
And
parts
there's
of the
just- yeah.
lore, I'm like, that ties into a boatload of stuff that I've seen and read before. I love the fact they've actually gone through and
They're
took the
Easter
time
eggs. They're
to put
collectible
that
Easter
in
eggs.
there. Also, I do have to appreciate that. I believe we talked about this in a previous episode. Did you notice that the times that Peter Parker is talking on the cell phone to someone, which is quite often,
Happens from time to time.
there's a difference that in between how he sounds when he's standing still and when he's actually swinging through the city.
Mhm.
They actually went back and recorded every single line of dialogue differently. If he is actively swinging around or fighting someone, he sounds more strained. If he's just relaxing somewhere, walking around, whatnot, he sounds normal.
Yeah, I was supposed to say he sounds more out of breath because he's like, hey, Ame. Yeah,
There's
totally up to it.
multiple movies worth of dialogue that they went back and recorded twice for something that you may not actually, consciously take into effect. They put so much effort into this game.
The only real gripe I had was there's, you haven't gotten to it yet, but there is a bit where you get to face off against Scorpion.
Okay.
And they essentially turn him into Scarecrow from the Arkham games. Where
That
it's just-
doesn't compute.
where it's just like a nightmare level. Or like if Spider-Man did way too many drugs and is basically to try
Was
to
he
keep his
injected
sanity
with
instead
venom
of
or
dying.
something like that? Oh. Oh well.
Dr. Otto Octavius gave him some special poisons. So if he were to ever sting Spider-Man, it would give him some insane things to see.
That makes me sad.
You can't go too low while you're web slinging because you go to the danger zone. If you go too high, you go into the danger zone where you'll start losing health because you weren't supposed to see those bits.
Yeah.
Because it was poison water below, but there's toxic air above. but it's not really there. You're only seeing it because of the venom.
That's pretty weak, to be honest.
And then occasionally you'll see a giant scorpion tail just. And yes, there's a weird hissing sound. Like something
Okay.
out of a really bad anime.
All right, then. So, let's try to wrap up the Spider-Man PS4 part of
Okay.
it. I thoroughly recommend this game.
Oh, yeah.
If you have a PS4, play this
Fucking
game.
get it.
If you don't have a PS4, eventually buy a PS4 and then play this game.
Like Lauren?
Like Lauren. He's going to buy it just for the Spider-Man game, yeah?
You mean going to?
He already has?
We drank too much the night we went to Goat Hill.
Yeah.
Literally, he came over, we crashed, woke up the next morning, I'm like, hey, you wanted to play Spider-Man? He played for a few hours. And then immediately like sent me a message the next day saying, so I bought a 1 terabyte PS4 with Spider-Man. It should arrive in the next few days.
Why am I not surprised?
Yeah, I think last I spoke to me, he was at like 30% or some shit.
Not surprising at all. But that's the draw of this game.
The fact that it's such a good enough game, people are buying the actual fucking console for it.
Yeah. I mean, yes, I could say the same thing about Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for the Switch. But to be completely honest, for the first 6 months of that console, that was the only game you wanted to play for that thing. But people who have got it for Christmas, people who are just buying it now, that's a must buy.
Oh, yeah.
Not a when you get around to it. No, that should be the first game you buy.
We already discussed that. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was the return of Zelda. The exploration. But it did it in a better way of it wasn't punishing you for it. It was rewarding you for
given
exploration.
the fact I have 200 hours in that game, and I haven't even touched the DLC. That's saying something.
That's a little too Dark Souls-ish and Witcher for me.
Witcher, yes.
Dragon
Dark
Age.
Souls, okay, fine. Dark Souls, not so much. That's just people being glutton for punishment.
Okay, sorry. Dark Souls is more or less you spend that much time because you die and you ruin everything.
Everything, yes.
But you know what I mean? Like, Witcher, yeah, and Witcher's maybe not that bad.
No.
But again, Dragon Age.
Definitely with Dragon Age, I can see that, yes.
And that's not even like people with Dom who've played that game like 4 or 5 times. all the way through.
Religiously, yes.
It's like, how much time have you wasted in there? Just a couple. Couple what?
100, yeah. So, let's break this down excuse me, I got the hiccups. Real quick. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Yes, definite yes. For
Oh,
me.
yeah.
Go see that. Go see it multiple times. Grab your friends.
Yeah,
grab
go
your
see
family,
Into the
go see it.
Spider-Verse, then play Spider-Man.
Yeah.
One of the other gripes I had with the PS4 Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse, was because I was just about to go face the final mission in Spider-Man PS4. So I spent most of that night going, I want to play Spider-Man. I need my fix. I'm this close to being done. I need to see the end.
Mm-hmm.
And I even made the comment to I think either Jess or Drea at one point. It's like, I'm tormented by the fact that I'm not at home playing Spider-Man because I'm out watching Spider-Man.
I'm not surprised in the least by that comment. So, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I will probably, again, 100% it like you are aiming to do so. And then we'll go and buy the DLC.
If I can get above the 90s, I'm good.
Yeah.
Because have you gotten to the Taskmaster stuff yet?
No, not yet. Oh, really?
It's literally you have to 3-star by doing X amount of points.
Oh, that bullshit. No. Okay, fine. 90% I'm going for then at this point. All right. Let's wrap this up then with some quick hits that we'll go through. We are recording this on Thursday the 24th. We are 5 days away before Kingdom Hearts 3 finally reveals itself to the world and proves that it's not vaporware. It's available on PS4 and Xbox One on January 29th.
Way to go, Kingdom Hearts. You're already better than Half-Life.
You probably have a game that has the number 3 in it. Going with that.
Didn't they release a game about Half-Life?
15 years since the first game.
I thought it was only 13.
Yeah, it's about close enough.
No, sorry. No, it was 13. It's only at 13.
I sworn it was 15. Anyways, I've been drinking.
We both have. It's
You
fine.
were saying?
I was trying to remember if it was 13 between 1 and 2 or 2 and 3, and it's 2 and 3. Because 1 and 2 was maybe like 4 or 5 years.
Right.
Like, it wasn't anything too bad.
No.
But at least, I was watching a thing and they were giving it shit, and they're like, you made that long to make a game. It's like, no, they had the games in between.
Right.
I mean, they kind of pulled them in Assassin's Creed. The only difference was they weren't pulling a bullshit like, we want to release a game just to make our annual release. We want to actually make something that's good. So, I mean, as long as it's not...
Right. And the reviews have been...
No, I'm not even going to say that, because Finny Fun and all that bullshit with Ariel was pretty fantastic.
True, very true. I will say, though, that there's been a number of mixed reviews with it. Basically, more so because of the fact that you have...
Mine was a bit sweet, so I added a bit more to it.
Please and thank you. I look at the reviews that have come out so far, and they basically state that it is a lot of fun. It is worth buying. It is worth playing. But the problem is, this is a game that should have come out like 5 or 6 years ago. And the fact that it's taken this long, there's a lot of stuff in storylines that just stop all of a sudden, or just rammed in there just because of the fact that they have a new movie and a new land to talk about. It's not really anything for you to thoroughly have a cohesive storyline for.
I don't know if I agree with that, though.
But again, we haven't played it yet. I know I'm going to thoroughly enjoy that game. I have 1 and 2 for PS4 that I need to go back and play through before I actually start playing 3. Although I have a reservation for 3. So
well, because they have the one version right now. What is it? Kingdom Hearts, the story so far.
Yes, it's available for the PS4 right now.
Mm-hmm.
And because the storyline, if you include all the other add-ons, the Nintendo 3DS versions,
360. Is it 364 over?
No, it was yeah, it was like 365/4 days or something like that.
It's over 2.
Over 2. Okay,
yeah.
My apologies.
Because that one's confusing in many ways, because it's meant to be, it's the story of 2 different characters over the span of 360 some odd days. That's why it's 360 whatever days over 2. That's the way it's meant to be seen. And then you have the way it's written out. You also have Dream Drop Distance. You also have Chain of Memories, which I've actually played and really enjoyed.
I played Dream Drop Distance a little bit, and that's the card-based one. That one was a little hard to get through.
Chain of Memories was card-based too.
Was it? No, that's right. Couldn't get through.
And I remember I even had on PlayStation 2 before Kingdom Hearts 2 came out, because Chain of Memories was actually released on the Game Boy Advance. But if you pre-ordered Kingdom Hearts 2, you actually you got the Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories on PS2, which they gave you a 3-dimensional version of.
And don't forget the fact that they had the Kingdom Hearts 2.8 that came out for the PS4
but that
earlier.
Was something later where they did everything else. That's what I said.
No,
as far as I know, they kept doing. There's like a 0.2, or sorry, there's HD 1.8 was like the first one. There was like a 2.2. There was a 2.8. And then that's why I said the final one was the one that's the story so far.
Let me ask you this, though.
Which includes like the Japanese. Have you been able to
follow the storyline cohesively through all of this?
1 and 2.
With all the other add-ons?
1, Chain of Memories, and 2.
Okay. Because I remember for the most part how these things worked out story-wise. Then I had to watch a refresher course on like YouTube. There's a ton of them out there.
Yeah.
And I'm confused as fuck about what's going on.
No, for the most part, again, from what I remember, because I only did 1, Chain of Memories, and 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There's like 3 other ones that were made by their side stories and all that fun stuff. Because there's characters who
Are we talking about the ones that go as far back as to remember the Japanese-only cell phone games? Or the fact that there was
We're not talking
some
about
additional
those.
Side stories that were only added because they did the Kingdom Hearts live concerts.
We're not talking about those ones because there's always the debate whether or not those are actually canon or if those are actually just a side bit.
It's all canon.
Fuck me. Anyways.
Because the last one to come out, the story so far, is all of those for PS4.
Drink your booze. Let's go.
Why, because I'm making sense?
Yes.
All right.
It's not supposed to be making sense. So I have to appreciate the fact that Tetsuya Nomura has actually come out and said that there were some said the biggest spoilers
God,
of the game.
You look so feminine right there.
Anyways, Nomura-san said this biggest spoilers in the game were the game's secret movie and the epilogue. Now, what we're talking about is there are people who got the game early, and therefore they leaked a boatload of stuff because they went through it and posted online, as they do. Not everything was released because they were smart about it at this point, because they wanted to keep something extra. So, The game comes out on the 29th. On Wednesday, January 30th, there's an epilogue video that is unlocked. In order to unlock it, you have to complete Kingdom Hearts 3 and see the ending to view this new video. That's not the only one. There's also a secret video that shows up on Thursday, January 31st, where you have to complete Kingdom Hearts 3, seen the ending, and fulfilled a boatload of criteria throughout the gameplay itself in order to unlock this new video. I love the fact that they're going through and saying, we are going to make sure that we're going to try to preserve
There are some secrets.
something for this game, because in this day and age, there's no secrets anymore. Does not matter.
There's always secrets.
Yeah. And the fact that these extra parts aren't actually on the disc itself, so you can't data mine them for it.
Something that has to come
You
up.
have to go online, and if your game save matches the requirements for these things, these movies will unlock. There's new stuff for you to understand. Now, granted, when these movies come out, everyone's going to record them and post them on YouTube.
See them on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. At that point, I'll still play the game, and I'll get to the point to hopefully be able to see them myself, just for a sense of accomplishment at that.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't, I have YouTube. I don't
Yeah.
have to worry about that point.
I mean, I might buy the story so far.
Yeah, I can see why a lot of people would do that at that point.
Let everything die down, then eventually pick up 3, or just steal it from you.
Yeah, that works just fine. Kind of like we did with, like, a bunch of other games. So
We
But-
tried to develop a system that worked.
yeah, that's true. But I love the fact that they're thinking about a lot of this stuff post-release to try to prevent people from spoiling the entirety of the game, which a lot of people like to do for some reason. Like, I got the game 2 weeks early. I'm going to spoil the
You
entire
gotta get that scoop.
game. What's the point? I do not understand
People
that.
suck. That's nothing new.
Yeah, that's true. All right, moving forward through some of these quick hits about that. Disney Shanghai in particular, is getting a new expansion, and it's actually be the first Zootopia themed land, featuring a new attraction that's going to feature a boatload of different characters that you love from the film, as well as a land that you can follow through.
Do you think that tiger that will treat you right is going to show up as a character?
He better. I wonder if they actually do Zootopia's.
Oh my god, it's going to be a breeding ground for just a bunch of fucking furries
Oh,
just
there's
trying
gonna
to
be
yiff.
furries all over the goddamn place. But it's Disney Shanghai, so they may crack down on that. But you can imagine that in the center of the city, that's always in the multiple scenes of the movie, there's that 3 or 4 story tall video wall that has Shakira's character as a gazelle.
One can hope.
Basically saying, you gotta
Her name is
save all-
Gazelle.
Right, her name is Gazelle. That her will be on that. Now, granted, because it is Disney Shanghai, will be in Mandarin or Cantonese, so we'll have to
Probably.
see what happens with that. We will find out more about this later on. They just announced this, like, I think maybe 3 days ago. So the fact that they're already starting with more expansions upon it, I'm curious to see if this will eventually make its way to, like, California Adventure, Disneyland Paris, or Disney World. We'll see what
Like, I'm
happens
excited
with
for Disney California Adventure because they're trying to distance themselves from California in general.
that. Yeah, and that's true.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this real quick. It is rumored, heavily rumored, that we may be done with Jared Leto as the Joker.
And by heavily rumored, it's not that it's rumored that we'll never have to see him again. Because it's already pretty much said he's not going to be in the Suicide Squad Part 2. And they've announced that they were going to do a
The Birds of Prey movie, right?
Sirens.
Oh, Sirens, that's right.
Supposed to be the Sirens.
Gotham City Sirens, yes.
So it's supposed to be Catwoman, Poison Ivy, and Harley Quinn. They're like, yeah, maybe Jared Leto will show up again. And they're like, no one
No.
liked him. We're good.
Yeah.
So now we're actually at that point where we might be done with the Leto Joker. And especially now, oh God,
Okay,
that he's Morbius. They're like, that even adds to it because now he's jumping ship.
given the fact that our second ever episode of this series
Was about that?
was #NotMyJoker,
Yep.
and we now have this, it's been a long time coming.
Good to see you. Our mission's done.
I know. Anyways. So hopefully we'll see what happens with this. Of course, he's not the only Joker that's in play right now, or no longer in
Bring
play.
it up. See, even
We
I'm
still
not
have
100%.
Joaquin Phoenix as his version for the Joker in the 80s Todd Phillips movie, so we'll have to see what happens with that.
Is the movie supposed to take place in the 80s?
Takes place in the 80s.
Huh.
We'll have to see with that. Oh,
Before Prince?
last 2 things to talk about. First off,
Prince is ageless.
unfortunately, rest in peace, Stan Lee. That was a big shock to, well, not a big shock to people, but it hit people hard when that happened. And of course, the outpouring of love has been infectious.
Oh yeah,
over the
that was
industry in
generally
the
how it
world.
worked with Jess and I. Like, there was a lot of nerds online. There was like, Stan Lee, we love you. You'll be missed forever. Jess and I were both just kind of like, good for him. What? He's with his wife.
Yeah,
Like, you saw that once his wife left him, he was never really
he was
kind of
never
the same.
really the same at that point. Now he's back with Joan. He's happy. He's good. I'm happy with this. So
Good old Madam Web.
there's been a number of eulogies and people talking about their experiences of meeting and working with Stan Lee online. There's actually going to be a big tribute to Stan Lee coming up on the 30th of January. It is going to be called Excelsior, a Stan Lee celebration. You can actually buy tickets to go see. This is going to actually be at Men's Chinese Theater in downtown Los Angeles. It's featuring a number of people. First off, it's going to be hosted and by Kevin Smith, who is actually going to be interviewing everyone who comes up to talk about their experiences with Stan, including Mark Hamill, The RZA, Clark Gregg, Felicia Day, Bill Duke, cast members from The Runaways, cast members from Legion, The Gifted.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, let's be honest.
Kevin
Stan
Feige's gonna show up.
Stan Lee is probably, at least the first one I could think of, his first appearance in movies was Mallrats. It was Kevin Smith.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
I mean, I can't think of anything that would predate
Anything
that.
earlier than that? No, I can't think of anything. So,
I mean, as weird as it is, I couldn't think of a better situation for him to be in.
yeah. So, I mean, it's good to have Kevin Smith added with all this. So, once again, we said it's on January 30th at 4 p.m. I believe part of this will be streamed, and anybody who actually wants to go visit us in person, get tickets. Yes, it does cost money to go see it, but everything from the ticket sales will go to the nonprofit organization called the Heroes Initiative, which is a charity that supports comic book creators, and artists, and writers in need.
Oh, they
Definitely-
changed the name.
It used to be why can't I remember what it used to be called?
I couldn't remember.
I'm drawing a blank.
Know that Wolverine picture that's in my living room?
Yeah, that's where it's from. Okay, gotcha.
I went to Long Beach Comic Con many, many years ago, and they're like, this is what it is. Comic book writers and authors literally make dick. So we started this to support them.
Yeah.
Oh, word?
So.
Here's like $30. What? Here's a wristband and this limited painting thing. And here's this.
I just wanted to support.
Just keep
Yeah,
making shit, dude.
exactly. Yeah, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
So it'd be curious to see what happens with that. I'm hoping that they'll actually stream some of this somewhere online.
My
If
only-
not, there'll be stuff
Yeah.
after.
My only regret is that Stan Lee never made it to 100. I thought that would have been rad.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
Because, there's always like issue 100
But again,
is always a
that
big
all
deal.
goes back to the fact that he is, that's more and more time away from,
Joan.
From Joan.
Whatever.
So, yeah. So that's in the works. Rest in peace. But we do want to wrap up with one cool thing, because this episode's been going on for almost an hour and a half at this point.
Jesus.
David Tennant, our favorite Doctor from the Doctor Who series.
One of.
Matt Smith was amazing.
There you go. You know he's my favorite?
I know he is your favorite. David Tennant probably is my favorite. Matt Smith,
My
thoroughly
favorite character in
enjoy.
Jessica Jones. Does that count?
Yes,
He's
yes,
my
yes.
favorite of the of the Duck family.
I'll appreciate that. Yeah, I do like him in DuckTales.
As Scrooge McDuck.
And the fact that he's also in a Rooster Teeth production. Have you not heard
Is he?
about this? Genlock or Gensex? It is David Tennant. It is Michael B. Jordan. It is the woman you hate from Game of Thrones. Stark. Ira Stark.
Maisie Williams.
Maisie
yeah,
Williams,
fucking can't
yes.
stand her.
And like two other actors. Like Rooster Teeth, this little tiny company, has brought all of this major voice
Well,
talent
because they're
together.
very much like, we're giant nerds. You giant nerd too? Let's do stuff.
Yeah, basically at this point. So they have a new CG
They've
series.
capitalized on that, and that's cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it when it comes out. I think next month. But yeah, they actually have a new series coming out where David Tennant's part of the voice cast for that. But anyways, the reason why we're talking about David Tennant, and we always gush over this guy,
His life is like a hurricane.
well, yes,
Here in
He actually
Duckburg.
is a well accomplished actor, well outside the Whoverse, and he decided he didn't want to do just that. So he has announced he is launching his own podcast. So this should be interesting. Now, granted, this It's called David Tennant Does a Podcast With. He's already announced a number of people who are going to be guests on this show.
The fact that it's not even a gimmick. The gimmick is I'm David Tennant and I'm doing a podcast.
Yeah, I have no problem with this whatsoever. He is pulling a boatload of people in with him he's actually worked with. It's going to be what is that? Christian Ritter is going to be the second person on it. The first one is Jodie Whittaker, the
That
new
is
doctor.
a woman who's way too attractive than she needs to be. Kristen Ritter, not Jodie Whittaker.
Okay, I was going to say, well, what? You also have
Always had a weird little bit of a crush on Kristen Ritter since she's out of your league.
Okay, fair enough. Other announced guests for this podcast series is going to be Ian McKellen, Whoopi Goldberg, John Hamm,
How dare you,
Samantha Bee,
Sir
Michael
Ian
Sheen,
McKellen.
Gordon Brown. I mean, he's going to have a number of who's who.
Oh, yeah, Michael Sheen was also in Doctor Who.
Yes, that's very true. I mean, granted, he is not new in this field whatsoever. There are so many people.
No, he's literally a dude who's already so established. He's like, "Hey, man, you wanna come over for an hour? Yeah, for sure. For what?
We're just going to hang out and talk shit.
We're
The
gonna
only-
do a podcast. Oh, word. All right.
The only difference between us hanging out, like we've talked about,
It's basically this.
the only difference between
Except-
hanging out and the podcast is the microphone.
You know,
That's all it is.
except if I was actually famous and you were like, "Hey, you want to come by?"
Yeah.
Again, it's your setup, but that's what I mean. Like, it'd be like if I was famous and you're like,
It
"You want to come by?"
doesn't matter.
All right.
We hang out anyway. So that comes out
And you're
later
saying
on.
they don't?
Okay, fair enough. Yes. So this comes out, I think, in a few weeks actually. So keep an eye out for David Tennant Does a Podcast With.
I love the fact that the article that you have up right now, it wasn't David Tennant saying, "Watch this podcast that I'm doing."
Mhm.
It's his fucking wife.
Yeah, I know.
It was
very true.
George Moffat.
Yep.
So weird.
Good times.
Well, no, it's still one of my favorite memes. What's the weirdest thing Doctor Who fans ever given you? Grandkids.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I mean, not me specifically, but
The-
David Tennant. Too.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Annie Hoozle.
That's gonna be it for this episode, actually. So we've covered a boatload of stuff from movies to the Spider-Verse.
We covered everything we wanted to, and then you let me go off on a series of tangents.
I went up on a couple myself. It doesn't matter. That's what we do.
No, you played into me, and you allowed me to do them. So
You're welcome. So
I can't read your new system. Where are we at right now?
we're at an hour and 30 minutes, hour and 40 minutes. So yeah, recording.
No, we're only at we're at 1:30.
1:30. So
Almost at 1:31. That's not bad. We've done worse.
we have done worse. So guys, thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for being patient with us. Hope you guys enjoyed this.
He'll edit it down so I sound like less abrasive. So
What are you talking about? I'm gonna post this as is.
Lion, you know it.
No, it's gonna post it as is.
That's fair.
So, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us for Geeks and Drinks. I'm Jason.
Jordan.
Cheers, Internet.